Hey, what's up, guys? Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder, self-proclaimed, of course, as your host. Coming back at you guys with a video. It's been a couple days. I did do a live last night, so if you haven't caught that one, go check it out. It's in the channel feed by now. So today I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I don't think I've ever done this before. I'm actually going to respond to a YouTube video from a non-prime driver that's out there floating around. I don't generally respond to other YouTube videos at all. YouTube drama is something I don't really feed into, but sometimes when you see a video out there that, in my opinion, is dangerously misleading, you got to say something about it. And this is not some random no-name YouTuber either. This is a YouTuber. Now, in full disclosure, I don't really know a whole lot about this YouTuber. I'm not trying to start beef. I would happily have this conversation with this individual if he wanted to call in and do a podcast or something. I'm not trying to start beef or anything like that. I mean no disrespect by discussing this video. Hopefully if he ever saw my video, then hopefully he would understand that this is just, a respectful disagreement, okay? But the channel is Trucking Answers. That's the name of the channel, and it's almost 33,000 subscribers. So it's a sizable channel with a lot of influence and a lot of viewers. In fact, I think the average video here is doing sometimes up to 6,000-7,000 views. Now, at the size of my channel, you guys rock. You guys are awesome. I mean, we get probably almost 1,000 views on every single video, which is awesome for 2,300 subscribers. But still, he's got a substantial following, and which makes what he says to me, it makes it a little bit reckless. And again, that's just my opinion. So basically, he has this video out. I'm going to link to it in the description down below. So please go watch the video and leave him a comment. I left a comment in there as well, if you feel so inclined to do so. But I feel like the message in the video is extremely reckless, and I feel like a lot of the comments down below are reckless as well. But essentially in this video, and it's titled, let me pull up the title of it. The title of the video is Riding the Slow Lane Sunday Rant by Trucking Answers. Okay, riding the slow lane. Now, you fellow Prime drivers, you guys know I drive for Prime Inc. Jenna and I both drive for Prime Inc. So you know where I'm at. But if you're a Prime driver, you can probably already pick up by the fact that the title is Riding the Slow Lane that it's probably about Prime trucks. And it is. And of course, us hearing people complain about us being slow trucks, that's nothing new. But it's the way that he describes Prime trucks that to me is new. I've never heard this complaint. And the way that he says that we should address it is extremely puzzling to me. So again, go watch the video. It's ended up. I'll put the link in the description below. But essentially what he does is he tells this story about coming over. He's climbing this hill. He's out just minding his own business, doing his drive. He's climbing this hill. And then when he crests the hill and he comes over it, what's there in the right lane? A Prime truck when he's going down the hill. Okay. And his first complaint about this Prime truck is that it's just riding its brakes all the way down the hill. He can see brake lights immediately. And he spends like a good minute just ranting about a Prime truck riding its brake lights going down the hill. Now, I don't know what kind of truck he drives. I would think that at his apparent level of experience, being that he's been on YouTube this long and has this large of an audience, that he should know. I would think he should know. Now, I can't speak to Freightliners. I don't know if they do the same thing, but I know in my Peterbilt, if I use the Jake brake, the engine brake, the brake lights come on my trailer. And I rarely ever touch the brakes going down a mountain or down a hill. That's all engine brake. So my trailer brakes are gonna be on going down the hill anytime there's some engine brake being applied. So his first big part of his rant is that we're not being taught well. He says they're probably being told this in orientation, or they're being trained incorrectly for these prime trucks to be going down a mountain riding on their brakes. Well, I don't think any prime trucks go down a mountain riding on their brakes. That would be my first thing. Because I think most prime trucks, being new and being automatic, are gonna have their trailer brake lights on when the engine brake's being applied. I would think someone who is literally has their YouTube channel called Trucking Answers, I would think they would already have this answer, instead of just making this big allegation that we're not trained properly and we're being given the wrong information and we're going down hills riding on the brakes. That's my first thing. I left that in a comment. It was a little bit of a head scratcher to see that. And then after that, he just goes into this rant about how a trucking company that's so high on itself on fuel savings doesn't teach its drivers to just let the truck rip down a hill. I mean, he's openly advocating for truck drivers to just let it rip. Don't get on the brakes, don't get on the engine brake, just let your truck rip down a hill or a mountain. And he says you're going to save a ton of fuel that way. And he doesn't understand why Prime isn't teaching that. He's basically complaining. Excuse me. I really wish I would have brought some water here. He's basically complaining that Prime is teaching the wrong way by not teaching us drivers to save on fuel by just letting it rip down a mountain. Think about that. Now, first of all, certain hills you can do that, right? Certain hills you can do that, of course. I think you as the driver, you're going to know how long a hill is, how steep the grade is, how heavy you are, where the load is in your trailer. Those are things that are your responsibility as a driver to know. It's not this guy. It's not my channel. I'm not supposed to tell you, hey, you shouldn't be braking this way, or you shouldn't be going this speed down a hill. You should go much, much faster. That is a very irresponsible thing for me to come onto YouTube and tell you to do. And he's saying it. He's saying, get off the brakes and just let your truck go. You'll save in fuel. You won't upset anybody. And they're training you incorrectly at Prime. That's what he's saying. So this is a channel called Trucking Answers with 33,000 viewers, not understanding the way the engine brake works with the lights, and advocating that all truck drivers just let it rip going down hills. And to me, this is absolutely baffling. That is irresponsible information to be sharing out on YouTube. And when I commented, first I had to educate him on how the engine brake works with these new trucks and how the lights come on even though you don't have your foot on the brake pedal. Secondly, I had to educate him on the fact that, with all due respect, I'm going to choose the speed that I go down a hill. I'm not going to say, oh, this other YouTuber out here said that I should just let it rip and I could save so much more on fuel. If I've got 45,000 pounds in a trailer, I'm going to choose the speed I want to go down a hill. I'm not going to let you choose or you tell me what speed I should go. I'm going to be safe. It's funny to me. You have a lot of these old schoolers, and I don't know if this individual is an old schooler, so I'm just making a general statement here, that complain that we get our CDLs out of a Cracker Jack box and that we're not safe drivers and that we cause problems out on the road. Yet when we do things that make us more safe, then they complain that we're doing those things. It's kind of it's an interesting scenario out there that we find ourselves in. And even in a lot of the questions in the CDL permit book, and a lot of training that you would find that's not specific to Prime, the DOT, the DMV, they all recommend that you are the selector of what is a safe speed for you. You don't speed up going down a hill just because someone's riding your ass. You don't speed up going down a hill just because someone else can't find a safe speed for themselves. If you're going the speed that you're going, that's not your problem. Your problem is getting your vehicle safely down a hill and the load that's inside of it safely down a hill without hitting anyone else or any fixed objects or going off the road or turning over. That's your responsibility. Your responsibility is not seeing some other truck go down a mountain and say, boy, if they were out of my way, I could be so much safer, or I could save more fuel. Or that's not you don't get to choose what speed another vehicle goes down a hill, or what speed another driver thinks is safe to go down a hill. And to allege such, I think, is recklessly irresponsible. So those first two things that he's ranting on with prime drivers is, like, of all the things you could complain or rant about with prime drivers, these are two things that the first one is just a misunderstanding, an uneducated driver, an uneducated YouTuber who doesn't understand newer trucks. And that's okay. That's I guess understandable. The second thing, though, is of all the things that you could complain about, I get flat surface company trucks are going 58. I get it. It's frustrating. Complain about that. But to complain about a driver doing 58 or 55 down a mountain when you think they should be doing 75 is baffling to me. But that's what he did. And then there was some other language, I believe, on just governed trucks in general and why they're unsafe. And then in response to some of my comments, someone fired back at me and said, I do 80 miles down a hill. It's you guys doing 62 and 65 that make this unsafe. Well, I don't know if these super truckers are actually looking at what their tires are rated at, but my tires on my truck are not rated at 80 miles per hour. So you're literally trying to tell me that a speed that my tires are not rated for is the speed that's safest for my truck. Think about that. Just think about that. I don't agree with you. The manufacturer of the tires on my truck do not agree with you. And the Texas DOT, in many cases, does not agree with you. I know some places in Texas the speed limit is 80. If that's the speed you want to go, great, have at it. My truck is governed at 65, and I'm happy that it's governed at 65. I have zero interest in doing 75 at all times. I have some fellow drivers at Prime that came from other companies, and yeah, they would like to do 70, 75, fine. I don't need that. Like, sometimes I'll let my truck get up to 72, 73 on a downhill where I see the end is right there and it's a straight shot and I feel safe about it. If it's a real short hill, rarely and occasionally, but I'll let that happen. But I do not want to be driving 75 miles per hour. You can call me a wuss. You can call me a, steering wheel holder. I call myself steering wheel holder. Call me whatever you want. 65 to me is plenty. It keeps me somewhat out of the way, and it lets me pass other slower vehicles, and it's a speed at which I feel safe. You don't get to tell me what is a safe speed limit for me to go. That's my responsibility. I would never, ever advise any other professional driver to go down a mountain. Just let it rip, because that's going to save you fuel. Get off the brakes. Don't run your engine brake. Just let your truck go. Are you insane? That's where a lot of these accidents, and a lot of you that are down in the comments saying it's you slow trucks and the insurance companies say it's you slow trucks. You really think that the insurance companies are more upset with trucks that can only do 65 than they are with trucks that can do 85 or 90? Do you really, is that really what you're going to allege? Because that's what I saw happening in the comments. Come on. I assure you, the insurance companies are happier with trucks that can only do 65 than they are with trucks who can do 80 or 85. And maybe that's why Prime's able to self-insure, and even the owner-operators are paying such a low amount of insurance because we're only doing 65. I don't know. I'm just taking a shot in the dark there, but this was a weird video to watch by a channel that's as big as his, 34,000 subscribers, that calls itself Trucking Answers, to do a video to such a large audience basically saying that prime drivers need to just not brake going down mountains or hills. You know. Anyway, to those of you just getting started in this industry, I would say don't listen to that crap. Don't listen to what if there's a car behind you honking or someone's on the CB, you determine what is the safest speed for you to go down a hill. And if that means that you're going to be engine braking all the way down, so what? If that means you're going to be doing 40 or 45 or 50 going down a hill, so what? That's your responsibility. You could, if you listen to someone who says you'll save fuel, just let it rip going down that mountain, and then you come up to a curb where you've got a heavy, a top heavy load, and you take that corner, that's going to not only end a life potentially, but if it doesn't end a life, it's probably going to end your career, because that's a situation that you could have prevented, and you could have prevented it by ignoring the advice by a big channel like Trucking Answers. So anyway, that's my 2 for today, guys. Be safe out there, make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. Talk to you guys soon.